Good afternoon, everyone. I hope all is well. This is Mr. Sharkey here from PS42, and I thought it would be a good time to connect with you. If you have a few minutes of your time, I promise this will be a short message. And I just want to go over a couple of important, timely topics that we're currently working on at PS42, and I'm confident that you have an awareness as well on your end. And so the talking points today, yesterday we sent out a letter dated 11/12, November 12th, regarding yellow zone schools. I would like to expand on that on this call, as well as talk to you a little bit about the shifts we're going to be doing with testing, COVID testing, and then also the ongoing current considerations that New York City Department of Ed is having at the moment regarding full remote due to the concerns with the data in New York City. And so yesterday, it was a very comprehensive letter. I hope that you found the time to read it, the email that was sent out to you all. I wanted to expand on some important pieces within this letter that's important. As a school community, everyone's on the same page. So as you know, New York State they launched a cluster action initiative to mitigate the COVID-19 levels that are in our community. Staten Island specifically. To my knowledge, I believe there are 3 zip codes on Staten Island that are not at this level. PS42, 10312 zip code is in the level. So we are considered within that yellow zone. And so the state refers to us as a precautionary zone, or the city calls it yellow zone. It is safe for that schools remain open during this period of time, but right now what they're looking to do is mitigate the data and look to see how they can reduce the transmissions. So in the letter, if you haven't had a chance to read, I just feel the need to connect with you on this specific point. It's very important. The prior practice prior to this letter, PS42 was always being used as a testing site for our school community once a month. However, due to the circumstances, we will now be doing mandatory weekly COVID testings for random students and staff. And so if a student is chosen for a COVID test, it is important that we have a consent form. Now, if you conducted a consent form, you submitted a consent form, whether it was paper or online, prior to the 15th, the city as well as the school, we're asking you to please resubmit the form, because that form itself speaks specifically to weekly testing. It's important that, testing takes place, but we would never test a child without your permission. So it's really important to us, to me, to my faculty, to your faculty, to our teachers, staff, and the Eltonville community. If you're choosing to give consent, please resubmit and utilize the letter, and we'll send out an additional link on a text or an email today to make it easier for you. But please really reconsider submitting the consent form. And so we will probably be early next week targeted to be a site, because it'd be once a week. So please look for that. If you have any questions, of course, reach out. I also want to talk to you a little bit about if you picking up your phone, watching the news, and talking to family and friends. Right now, the New York City COVID data, the percentage of positive tests in New York City, if it's equal to or greater than 3%, our mayor and our chancellor are very strong on this data point. So if we cross the threshold, school buildings across New York City will be closed. With the current practices for individual schools to close, and it's been happening in many schools around PS42 within the neighborhood. And a few times that we dealt with the New York City Department of Education on these topics, our situations never put us in a position to close just yet, which is great. And we want to continue doing that. But right now, that protocol is still in place. However, if the citywide data is 3%, there will be school closures. If that's the situation, we are hopeful. The current messaging from the city right now will be as brief as possible. It won't be like in the spring, where we were not sure and we remained closed for the duration of the school year. This morning itself, the news itself ran some stories from the mayor and the chancellor. They're hoping that this will be as brief as possible. And on the school level, we're excited to hear that. Should this happen, I just want to remind you that the PS42 staff, administration, and I, including our teachers, our whole school community, will make sure that this transition will be less impactful for your child as possible. The less disruption to instruction, the better. So meaning no real change. We're looking to keep everything simply the same, but shift into a remote fashion. And so on the school level, we will continue to do the best we possibly can at all times. This year, comparing to the spring of last year, we now have so much more access, digital access. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. What's perfect is everybody, every day, for 180 days, back in school, 5 days a week, you know the deal. But until we have that, it will never be perfect, I get it. But our digital access to your students and your students to us and to the curriculum is so much better at the moment than compared to last year. So we're being optimistic, continue please to be safe, practice social distancing, hand washing, masks, etc. You know the deal. And we as a school have been doing extremely well in this area, so thank you. Should the case surface, you feel the need to connect with us, of course, our classroom teachers are dynamite. I love the fact that you already have such deep relationships with your teachers, so please continue working with them. Of course, our parent coordinator is always available to you, and our assistant principals, Ms. Garcia, Ms. Six, and Mrs. Dulski, are always available to you. Although they have certain grade assignments, everyone is accessible to everyone at any given time. They work very close together to make sure that we stay cohesive and aligned as a school. So reach out to them as well if you feel the need. And of course, our virtual general office is always there to take any inquiries. Well, that's about it for today. I just wanted to connect with you for a short period of time to tell you that we are well aware of what's going on. If you have questions, concerns, we'll be reaching out to you, and reach out to us if you have those concerns. But as things start to change, or if they do, or even if they don't, we will continue to keep you updated with the latest happenings. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your weekend.